had a presence and an arrogance and confidence.
Douglas pulls the scarf on back to Duncan Edwards, who bangs it home.
He would knock 60 and 70-yard passes with his left foot or his right foot. Edwards.
Hello everyone, welcome to Motorhome BB. My name is Alan, and today I've come to find the final resting place of Duncan Edwards. Top class professionals have said that this guy, who unfortunately died at 21 in a plane disaster, could have been the world's absolute best footballer ever. So let's go find his fantastic grave. There's so many tributes to him. This is Dudley Cemetery, and around Dudley it's littered with things commemorating this guy. So I'm going to go find his grave and we'll go into the story. I didn't realise what a great footballer he was, but now I've researched him, I realise. Tommy Docherty said that it could have been better than Pele, Madonna, George Best, because he was an all-round player. He was super strong. He was renowned for his strength. When he played with people, they said he stood out. He was like a shining star on the football pitch. And that, I mean, taking into account that he only got to be 21, he made a massive impact. In fact, Bobby Moore, who really has been to Dudley 3 times to open up different, things honouring his name, said that he was the only player that made him feel inferior. He tried to mimic the way that he could pass the ball at 60 metres from the air or from the ground. He was a phenomenal athlete, and we'll go into more details. But me, I am not a football expert, but even me, I'm so impressed when I've read about him. And you know, I never knew about him. I'm amazed, absolutely amazed. A lot of the people on the channel said, please do Duncan Edwards, and I said, who? But now I've researched him. I mean, he died in 1958, so it's 66 years almost, and he's still so much loved. And his grave, as we will see, is nearly always covered in United scarves and flowers. So I'm very, very pleased to do this one today. When he was in his early teens one day, he had the choice, and it was a hard choice, I guess, but he had to go to the Morris and sword dancing final, or he had to go to the Football League Association match, and the latter is what he chose. He was more into the football than the dancing, but very athletic kid by the sound of it, for sure. There was a big statue presented to Dudley, and it was in 1999. It was the 14th of October, and it was placed there, and on the day his mother turned up and Bobby Charlton unveiled it. That was later moved in 2015 to a more prominent position. So it is a beautiful statue. I've seen the pictures of it. We're not far from the grave, but I'm not going to turn the camera yet because I want you to get the full impact. I can see the red in the distance, and it's not the red of my eyes. On the Priory estate there was a pub, the Wren pub, which is named after him, but unfortunately it was burnt down by arsonists. There is a sports centre that cost £100,000. That was opened by Bobby Moore. And there is a plaque which was also opened by Bobby Moore. And they've renamed one of the major roads circling the town Duncan Edwards Way. So I mean, the amount of tributes this guy's had in Dudley is I've never seen anything like it. It's unbelievable. So here we are at the Duncan Edwards Leisure Centre. I'll spin the camera. You can see I've got the posters there. Duncan Edwards Leisure Centre. Oh yeah, there we are. Really big, isn't it? It's quite a nice centre. Yeah. That was the Duncan Edwards Leisure Centre. About £100,000 worth of it. Now we're going to go to his first home where he was born. So here we are at Melbourne Crescent, and number 23 is where he was born. I'll spin the camera. That's 21 and that's 23 there. So that's the house. There we are. Very nice. So that's where Duncan Edwards were born. That's it. Yep. And they're very kindly, this lady's let me in to have a look, and it's very, wow, it's very nice actually. Yeah. I'll just a little close so we can see. It's nicely done, isn't it? God is with us for our captain. Yeah, it's lovely. Two sides to it, look. So many tributes to this player, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, I was here for his funeral.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's absolutely fantastic. There we go. And the church is lovely too, actually. And she's just let me in because they were having a meeting and they're going, and she's kindly given me a bit of a time. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Duncan Edwards was the greatest player that I've ever seen, the greatest player that I've ever played with. I love talking about him because there's really not a great record of what he did because he only played 4 years. You know, people talk about him as an all-time great. You know, he only really played for 3 or 4 years at the top grade.
Before a match, and you'd done your little last 30 minutes talking before they went out, and Big Duncan used to say, he meant, we haven't come here for nothing.
He was one of the 8 Busby babes, Sir Matt Busby's players, who died in that terrible crash in Munich. They were leaving Belgrade on the 6th of February 1958 after refuelling, and the plane crashed. He survived the crash and was taken to the hospital, and the doctors thought that he would recover. He had broken ribs, smashed legs, completely damaged liver, and he was in a bad state, but they actually thought he would survive. He regained consciousness and he asked Jimmy Murphy, the manager, if he could watch the game against Wolves. That shows you how dedicated he was to football. There he was laid in bed, smashed to smithereens basically, and he wanted to watch the next big match. Completely dedicated lad, wasn't he? His liver wasn't working, so he got an artificial liver which caused his blood not to clot properly, and that caused internal bleeding. The doctors have been amazed how well he was recovering at the very beginning, but unfortunately this lack of this internal bleeding, because of the lack of clotting, weakened him, and he fluctuated, he went up and down, but eventually it caused him to die. He just couldn't fight it, not even with the strength that he had. Very sad. Duncan Edwards was born on the 1st of October 1936 at 23 Melvin Crescent in the Woodside district of Dudley. He was the first child of Gladstone and Sarah Ann Edwards, and their only child to survive to adulthood. He played football for his school, as well as Dudley schools, Worcester and Birmingham district. Duncan was offered a trial for the English School Football Association under-14 team. He impressed the selectors and was chosen to play for the English School 11, making his debut against the equivalent team from Wales at Wembley Stadium on the 1st of April 1950. He was soon appointed captain of the team, a position he held for 2 seasons. By this stage, he had already attracted attention of major clubs, with Manchester United scout Jack O'Brien reporting back to manager Matt Busby in 1948 that he had seen today a 12-year-old schoolboy who merited special watching. Duncan began his Manchester United career in the youth team and made several appearances for the team that won the first ever FA Youth Cup in 1953. But by the time of the final, had already made his debut for the first team. On the 4th of April 1953, he played a Football League First Division match against Cardiff City, which United lost 4-1. Aged just 16 years and 185 days, making him the youngest player ever to play in the top flight of the English football. Returning home from Belgrade on the 6th of February 1958, the airplane carrying Duncan and his team crashed on takeoff after refuelling in Munich, Germany. 7 players and 14 other passengers died at the scene. Duncan was taken to the Richets DSO hospital, suffering from multiple injuries. He died at 2:15 a.m. on February the 21st, 1958. At the time of his death, Duncan was engaged to be married to Molly Leach, who was 22 years old. Hours after his death, Charlie Booker's Football Monthly magazine came out with a front cover picture of Duncan smiling on the cover. How ironic is that? I can see the red from here, and I think over often graves are neglected, and it seems these people who were very prominent celebrities and athletes and whatever else, once they've gone, sometimes they've forgotten. This has got to be the one that has got the strongest appeal and remembrance afterwards. This guy is still so much loved, and it's amazing to think that he died in 1958, but it's coming up now. I can see it. Amazing. I'm going to spin. You can see the red, can't you, from here? So don't forget, 66 years later, we've still got this. Wow. Isn't that something? The stone came from Aberdeen by a company called A. Walker and Sons, and it was engraved locally by R.L. Jones, which is just across the way. It's amazing. I've never seen a grave that has that amount of attention all these years later. It's absolutely amazing. So let's start off. It says at the foot, also Carol Ann, aged 14. Well, I don't know who that is, but I'm sure a lot of people who watch this will do. Oh, R.L. Jones and Sons, Dudley, yeah, okay. I've just said that. I think somebody stole the football. She's fixed pretty firmly, but somebody stole that and it was returned. I think they were told to return it quickly. It's an amazing grave, yeah. Hello, Duncan. You were a very dedicated and nice young man, from what I've read, unaffected by anything, and you would have been married and had a wonderful career, but you're so much loved all these years later. Let's read the stone. Right, let me get in so we can see clearly. Right, nice engraving at the top as well. Okay, so it says, a day of memorial sad to recall, without farewell he left us all. In loving memory of our dear son, Duncan Edwards, who died February 21st, 1958, from injuries received in an air crash at Munich. Aged 21 years. At this shrine of reward and rest, memory honours those we love best. That's it. Little teddy bear there, look. Some little mannequins. I guess this lot changes all the time, you know, with different fans. Thank you, Duncan. I really didn't know you before, but now I do, and I won't forget. All the best. Do you know, my overwhelming feeling about that is that that young man touched so many hearts, and still does, many thousands of people over the years. And it shows you that if we've got something that we enjoy doing that we love, and that's the answer. I mean, I'm loving this. It's something I didn't really do when I was working, and I love the reaction from the people. I love the fact that they get so much enjoyment out of watching the videos, and I love doing them. What more can you say? It's just a joy, isn't it? So if you're stuck and you feel a little bit down, think about what you really want to do and start. The first step is the beginning. That's the answer, isn't it? The first kick was the beginning. So if you enjoyed the video today, don't forget to subscribe, because there'll be lots more. Give me a comment, because I love the comments, and a thumbs up if you don't mind. That would be lovely. Look after yourself. I'll blow the whistle. It's over. See you all soon on the next one. Take care, everyone. Bye bye.